The weight we carry without knowing. Have you ever noticed how heavy your days can feel, even when nothing particularly bad happens? It's not the kind of heaviness you can measure on a scale. It's invisible, yet you feel it in your shoulders, in your chest, and in the quiet moments before you fall asleep. Most of the time, that weight comes from the pressure we put on ourselves, the unspoken expectations, the silent comparisons. We wake up, scroll through our phones, and instantly find ourselves in a race we never consciously agreed to run. Someone is buying a bigger house, someone is traveling to beautiful places, someone just made it in their career. And there you are, holding your coffee, wondering if you're falling behind. The truth is, the world moves fast, but our hearts don't. Your inner self doesn't care about the highlight reels. It longs for something slower, something truer. The problem is, most of us have forgotten how to slow down. We treat life as if it's a list to complete before some invisible deadline. We chase opportunities like we're afraid they'll never come again. We say yes to things we don't want just so we don't disappoint anyone. But here's something I've learned. When you stop gripping life so tightly, it has a way of giving you exactly what you need. Not what you think you need, but what your soul has been quietly asking for. Think about a river. If you try to force it to move faster, you only end up creating turbulence. If you try to stop it, you'll feel the full force of its resistance. But if you simply step in and let it carry you, you'll eventually find yourself where you need to be. That's what it means to let life flow. It's not about giving up. It's not about avoiding responsibility. It's about loosening your grip just enough so you can actually feel the beauty of the present moment. When you stop trying to control every detail, something magical happens. You create space, and in that space, opportunities, connections, and peace have room to enter. The quiet seasons of life. There's a season in life that nobody really talks about, the quiet season. It's the time when nothing big seems to be happening. No milestones, no dramatic wins, no applause, just stillness. You wake up, go about your day, and it feels like you're just existing. People on social media are sharing big life updates, promotions, engagements, new homes, and you're still here in your small corner of the world, wondering if your time will ever come. I used to fight those seasons. I wanted to fast forward through them to get to the part where things finally made sense. But over time, I learned something that changed me completely. Quiet seasons are not empty seasons. They are the soil where the seeds of your future grow. Slowly, silently, without fanfare. Think about it. A seed doesn't sprout the second you put it in the ground. It spends weeks, months even, in complete darkness. No one claps for it. No one even sees it. But deep down, it's developing roots, building the strength it will need to push through the soil and reach the light. Life works the same way. The quiet season you're in right now might feel like a pause, but it's actually preparation. The conversations you're having, the habits you're forming, the lessons you're learning, all of it is building the foundation for the next chapter. The hard part, we rarely recognize it while we're in it. We want results, proof, visible change, but the most important growth always happens before it's visible. I remember a time when I was completely lost. I had no idea what my purpose was, no grand plan for the future. I spent months just living, reading books, going on long walks, sitting in coffee shops alone. Back then, I thought I was wasting time. Looking back now, I realize those quiet moments gave me clarity. They gave me space to breathe, to hear my own thoughts without the noise of the world drowning them out. That's why I want to tell you this. Don't rush your quiet season. Don't try to fill every silence with noise, every gap with action. Some of the best things in life take time to form, and they can't be forced. Instead, lean into it. Pay attention to the small details. The way the morning light comes through your window, the sound of rain on your roof, the feeling of warm coffee in your hands. These moments are more than just filler. They are the raw material of your life. When you embrace the quiet, you stop seeing it as a void and start seeing it as a gift. It's in these still moments that you can recalibrate, find your center, and realign with what truly matters to you. And here's the beautiful part. When your season of growth finally arrives, you'll look back and realize that the quiet wasn't empty at all. It was sacred, the art of letting life flow. There's a strange kind of magic in realizing you don't have to wrestle life into submission. For years, I thought I needed to be in control of my schedule, my relationships, my career, even the unpredictable moods of the people around me. I believed that if I could just arrange everything perfectly, then happiness would finally arrive and stay. But life doesn't work like that. It's not a puzzle you solve once and for all. It's more like a river. And rivers have a way of flowing in their own direction, whether you fight them or not. One day, after weeks of pushing against an obstacle I couldn't seem to move, I sat down in exhaustion and thought, what if I just stopped? Not stopped in the sense of giving up, but stopped forcing. Stopped clinging to the outcome I thought I needed. That's when I understood. Control is mostly an illusion. We plan, we prepare, but the truth is, much of life is outside our grasp. And that's not a threat, it's actually a gift. When you loosen your grip, something beautiful happens. Life starts bringing you opportunities you couldn't have planned. You begin to notice the things that were always there but hidden behind your urgency. A friend calls at the right moment. A job offer appears out of nowhere. A random conversation sparks an idea that changes your path. It's as if the current was carrying these gifts toward you all along. You just had to stop fighting it to receive them. The weight of unnecessary pressure. We live in a culture that worships speed, achievement, and constant productivity. We're told to hustle, to grind, to make it happen. And while hard work has its place, the constant pressure to be on eventually wears us down. It's like holding a heavy suitcase for hours. At first, you're fine, but over time, the weight becomes unbearable. What if you could simply put the suitcase down? What if you trusted that your worth doesn't depend on how busy you look or how quickly you reach the next milestone? The truth is, the world won't collapse if you slow down. The opportunities meant for you will still find you. Letting go of the timeline. One of the most liberating decisions you can make is to release your obsession with when things will happen. We all have a mental timeline. Marriage by this age, career success by that age, financial freedom by a certain year. But life doesn't read our deadlines. Sometimes what you want takes longer, and sometimes it comes much sooner than expected. When you detach from the when, you open yourself to the how. And often, the how turns out to be far richer and more surprising than anything you could have designed. The gentle power of trust. Trusting life doesn't mean you sit back and do nothing. It means you act with intention, but without desperation. You plant seeds, but don't dig them up every day to check if they've sprouted. You create space for life to do its part. It's a partnership. You bring your effort, and life brings its timing. And when that partnership clicks, things start to unfold with a sense of ease you can feel in your bones. When you release the need to control every outcome, you create room for life to surprise you. The moments you've been longing for may already be on their way. You just have to stop blocking the door with your constant pushing. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is take a breath, loosen your grip, and trust that everything meant for you will arrive exactly when it's supposed to. The silent strength of patience. Patience is not just the ability to wait, it's how you behave while you wait. In our fast-paced world, patience has almost become a lost art. We want instant results, instant wealth, instant recognition, instant happiness. But life doesn't operate on our timeline. Nature has its own rhythm, and so does personal growth. Think of a bamboo tree. For the first 5 years after planting, you see almost no growth above ground. Day after day, the farmer waters the soil, adds fertilizer, and protects it from pests. To an impatient observer, it might look like nothing is happening. But beneath the surface, the roots are spreading wide and deep, preparing to support the massive height the bamboo will eventually reach. Then, in the 6th year, it can grow up to 80 feet in just a few weeks. That's how many of our life goals work. You might spend years building skills, nurturing relationships, or working on your health, and it can feel like you're getting nowhere. But what you're really doing is laying the invisible foundation. The moment of rapid growth will come, but only if you've been patient enough to tend to the roots. Patience is powerful because it stops you from making fear-driven decisions. When you're impatient, you act from a place of scarcity. If I don't do this now, I'll lose my chance. But when you're patient, you trust that the right opportunities will arrive when you're ready for them. You give yourself the gift of time to prepare, to grow, and to approach life with clarity rather than desperation. Imagine two people learning to play the piano. One practices every day, slowly mastering each piece, building finger strength and technique. The other rushes to play complex songs immediately, skipping fundamentals. After a year, the first person may still be playing simple tunes, but they play them with beauty and precision. The second person might have attempted more songs, but without a solid foundation, their playing is sloppy and incomplete. Patience doesn't just bring results, it brings quality. The world often celebrates speed, fast learners, quick successes, overnight fame, but lasting success is built in the quiet, unglamorous hours of persistence. If you look closely at anyone who's truly excellent at what they do, you'll find years of patient work behind their breakthrough moment. So, when you feel the urge to rush, pause. Take a breath. Remember that every step you take now is preparing you for something greater. Trust the process, even when the results aren't visible yet, because just like the bamboo, your growth might be hidden for now, but when it comes, it will be unstoppable. Sometimes life has a way of circling back to the simplest truths we've known all along, but had forgotten in the noise. I've learned that peace isn't something you earn after crossing some imaginary finish line. It's not a prize waiting at the end of your achievements. It's something you cultivate moment by moment, even when life is still messy, even when you're still figuring things out. Think about a river. It never forces its way forward. It simply flows, adapting to every rock, every bend, every obstacle. It doesn't rush to the ocean, yet it inevitably gets there. What if we approached our own lives the same way? Not forcing, not rushing, just flowing, trusting that our journey will take us exactly where we need to be. When I stopped treating my life like a constant race, something magical happened. I began noticing the beauty in the small, overlooked moments. The morning sunlight spilling through my window, the sound of my friends' laugh, the way warm coffee feels in my hands on a cold morning. These aren't fillers in life, they are life. And here's something else I realized. You don't have to wait until everything is perfect to be at peace. That day may never come. There will always be unfinished goals, unanswered questions, unresolved situations. If you keep postponing your peace until the stars align, you'll spend your life waiting. So I began a little practice. Every day I ask myself, what's one thing I can appreciate right now? Sometimes it's big, sometimes it's tiny, but it always brings me back here to the present. And that, I've found, is where peace lives. If you take only one thing from this entire episode, let it be this. Let go of the need to control every detail. Life unfolds in its own rhythm, and most of the time, it's kinder than our fears would have us believe. The more you trust, the more you receive, not because the world suddenly changes, but because you do. If this episode spoke to you, remember, it's not just for listening. Take one small thing from today's reflection and bring it into your life. And if you'd like to continue exploring these conversations, I invite you to subscribe, leave a like, and share this with someone who might need a gentle reminder to slow down and trust the flow. Because sometimes all we need is the courage to let life meet us halfway.